Why men have to constantly repeat themselves to a woman. It's necessary to talk about it.
I was just patient, never try skating. Fuck niggas hating.
Before I start, I would like to put a disclaimer on this video and let those who choose to watch it know that this video and this content and my content in general is not for men who are misogynistic. This is not for men who deem women as inferior and they are superior to women. And this is not for the men who like to dominate over women and feel like women don't have the right to speak or have an opinion. They like to control women, and that is not the nature of my content or this video in particular. In this video, I want to discuss why men feel the need to repeat themselves with women. Okay, and you might even feel yourself saying the same thing, but in different ways. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're constantly setting boundaries everywhere, every turn that this woman makes in your life. And this is for like the kind-hearted men, because when one thing about you, this is how you know you're a kind-hearted man. When you meet somebody, if doing for somebody else doesn't really bother you, in fact, it might even excite you. It might even bring you some sorts of validation, or that might be like one of your love languages. I know it is for me. Watching someone else smile and enjoy my presence and the things I'm able to provide or do for them adds validation to my life. Therefore, it's one of my love languages. So I'm speaking for men who think along those terms and those guidelines. All right, I'm not speaking for the men who feel like a woman should just shut up and be submissive. Okay, I don't know why I would have to put that kind of disclaimer on the video, other than the fact that I am aware that cyberspace, the internet, is full of trolls who like to jump in the comment and bash good guys and bash women, you know, and they have their own way of thinking, and I just want to make sure that I'm clear that that's not what I'm doing here, and that's not the nature of my content. Moving right along, I want to go over, I think I have 10 reasons why good guys, okay, feel the need to repeat themselves when dealing with a woman, regardless if it's a long-term relationship or if it's an early stage courtship or vetting or whatever. You feel like you have to constantly repeat yourself and set boundaries and stuff like that. And I want to tap into your brain for a second and see if we can dissect some stuff. I think it's really interesting. I had this conversation with my buddy earlier on the phone, and we laughed about it because it was like second nature to us. But, you know, I was like, that'll be a good topic to talk about, because this can validate other men who might not be aware that they feel this way and why or why. I'm going to jump right in without wasting any more of your time. Number one reason why, you know, a woman would cause you to have to repeat yourself is that she's trying to tempt you to anger. Now, this isn't all the time. This isn't the case all the time, but this is one of the reasons why you would feel like you need to constantly repeat yourself. It's like somebody is deliberately crossing your boundaries. Somebody is deliberately going against your wishes, and you feel like you have to consistently lay down your law and uphold your boundaries and let them know, I don't like this. I told you before, I don't like this. You know what I mean? It's like, why would somebody, you know, not retain that information? You know what I'm saying? When you're telling them that you don't like something, and why would they intentionally do it again or play oblivious as to where they don't remember you ever telling them before? This is simply to tempt you to anger. Why would somebody want to tempt you to anger? When you are dealing with somebody who doesn't have the capabilities to love the way you love, they feel inferior to you, around you. And in order for them to feel better about themselves, they need to bring you down. They need to see you act a donkey like they would. They need to see you, they want to humanize you in their eyes, okay? So in order to humanize you, they bring you to anger. And once you react to their abuse with abuse, and you are lashing out and you are impulsive, you look relative to them. They see you as they see themselves, therefore validating who they really are. And now they don't feel inferior. They feel on the same level as you. Okay? This is one reason why somebody will try to tempt you to anger, to bring you down, thus forcing them up in a more superior position. And now they feel like it's funny to them. Okay? It's enjoyable. Misery loves company. You know, they no longer feel like they are the lesser vessel. Okay. But like I said in the beginning, that's not always going to be the case as to why you have to consistently repeat yourself to a woman. I'm going to go over 9 more, help you understand what's going on inside the brain and the minds of these people that you have to constantly repeat yourselves and say the same thing that you said, that it's clear understanding why do they keep doing it. Number 2, they are attempting to get you to accept their bull, their BS. Okay, they want to consider. They want. It's like they're challenging you. They're like, okay, he doesn't like this, yeah, but I want to do this. So they keep on testing you in hopes that you give up first. Because if you give up on enforcing your boundaries and they succeed at being able to do what it is that they want to do in your presence, okay, so that is a second reason why somebody, you would find yourself repeating yourself to this person, because they're like, it's like a force. It's like your forces are going against each other. Somebody is challenging you. They're like, I know what you said you want, but I want this. Okay, and then it's like, no, it's a battle. It's an unspoken battle of control and power in that dynamic. Okay, that's the second reason why you would find yourself constantly having to repeat yourself to a woman. Okay, number 3, okay, it's so subtly done that you may think that you're overreacting. Okay, so somebody pressing up against your boundaries and not really acknowledging what your requests are, and not honoring your boundaries, but your wishes, not honoring those wishes, and it's done in such a covert, subtle way that you start second guessing yourself. And again, once you start second guessing yourself, you revert, you back off. Okay, so that's another reason why you will find yourself constantly having to repeat yourself when dealing with a woman, is because she's still trying to get, it's something that, ulterior motive that she has, that she's trying to get across, that she's trying to get established or foundated, and you already have a system, boundaries set in place that don't allow her to do that. So she has to push those boundaries. She has to keep on scratching at that door until you open up. Okay. Okay. Number 4 is that she did not have the capacity to compromise or to reciprocate. Okay, this goes back to what I said. This woman doesn't know how to be on your level. So she needs to bring you down to her level. Therefore, she feels like, okay, this is more of an even playing field. But what I mean by this is simply this: like, somebody who isn't as you have to think about it like this. The way you love people, you can't expect other people to love you that same way. Maybe it's because they haven't been through what you went through. Maybe they're not as empathetic as you are and sympathetic as you are, and so they don't have the same capacity levels as you. Okay, so it's still ultimately a power struggle between you and this person, but this person is trying to get you to be more humanized, be more relatable to them. And it's unrealistic. Where you set, where your boundaries and your standards set is unrealistic to them. So they need to constantly they like, you're not being realistic, you're not being fair. They're trying to level the playing field. Okay, that is why they would like you feel yourself constantly having to repeat yourself to this person, because they don't even have the capacity to love on a level that you can love. Okay, number 5 is, you have to look at it like this: when you are setting boundaries with somebody, right? It's practicalities. And what I mean by practicalities is that you're being practical. And what I mean by that is the boundaries that you set make sense as to what your wishes making sense, because they protect you, and they can also protect the person that you're involved with. You have those boundaries set in place so that it keeps everything cordial and harmonious. Okay, but you realize that you're constantly repeating yourself, and it's going to be somebody's selfish ambition is challenging your practicalities. Okay, you have healthy boundaries set in place, but they're trying to challenge your healthy boundaries. It's because your healthy boundaries don't reap the benefits that they are looking to receive out of that relationship or situation with you. That's why your healthy boundaries are being challenged. You know what I'm saying? It's something that they need to extract from you, and your healthy boundaries don't allow them to do that. Okay, so you're going to continuously find out through however long you're dealing with this person, that you are saying the same thing. Like, I said, I don't like that. Why are you still doing that? They might even try to do it in a slightly different way than they did before, so it doesn't appear to be the same tactic. But overall, this person is trying to get away with something that they cannot help. This is how they were raised. This is how they think. This is how they move, and it's not compatible with you. So your boundaries are constantly being tampered with and pushed back and moved around, and you find yourself shifting and repeating yourself and saying the same thing just over here as you said over there. Okay, you guys are unevenly yoked, and it's very important that we accept. We have to be in acceptance. One thing I definitely feel like my channel was only going to be effective to men who have no problem with dealing with acceptance, because the things I say aren't always going to sound fun and funny and cool and things that you want to hear. It's going to be something that you need to hear. It's food for your soul, and that you should definitely deal with accepting the truth about the matter. And I'm not here to gas anybody and feed your ears with stuff, manipulation tactics or nothing. I'm just telling you how it is, the raw and uncut. Okay. Number 6, the person is clearly not in acceptance of the word no. This person is an entitled person. Okay. You setting a boundary is another way of saying no to whatever it is that they want. They are not in acceptance of the word no. See, you as a man, I just discussed it, you are in acceptance of reality. And reality is, to these people, that you are telling them, in other words, the answer is no to whatever it is that they're trying to extract to you that hasn't outwardly been communicated. You have just set boundaries in place so that whatever it is that you deem to be off limits would never be tampered with. But this person is continuously tampering or pushing up against your boundaries. They are clearly not in acceptance of the word no. This is an entitled person that you are dealing with. Okay, this is a spoiled person. This is somebody that obviously has been able to get whatever they want out of other people by just being persistent. But they're going to learn it's not going to work with you. Hence the reason why you continuously repeat yourself, because you are your own boundary police, and you're going to be right there to reinforce them again and again and again until the situation runs its course. Number 7, when you are comfortable around somebody, you operate through hospitality. You are, you are a good host. People come in your home, they come into your life, and you make them feel comfortable. You listen to them when they talk. You're accommodating. That's what I mean by hospitality. You are accommodating to someone else in your world, in your life. You are the ruler of your life, but you are accommodating for other people. Would you like something to drink? Would you like somewhere to sit? Here goes the remote. Are you hungry? That's what kind of person you are when you are a nice, genuine, good guy. You operate around people that you trust and feel comfortable with hospitality. Am I wrong? Here goes where the problem lies. When you start feeling that you need to start setting boundaries, something is telling you already. Your spirit, your intuition is telling you that you are intellectually, or excuse me, emotionally superior as far as your maturity levels. Because you know that if you went into somebody else's life, you would respect their boundaries. But someone that you allowed and welcomed into your house or life is having a problem with your boundaries. So you're feeling like this doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? So what happens is, once you stop feeling comfortable around these people, you go into self-preservation mode, or a more defensive state, where obviously you start setting tons of boundaries. If you were around somebody who didn't challenge your boundaries, you would feel free to not set them. It would be like, what's understood doesn't need to be explained. You'd be happy. You'd be free. You'd be liberated. But around people who do subtle things to test your boundaries, this is when you notice that you have to constantly defend yourself and start creating boundaries around that person. And you might not even know that you're doing this. Okay, that's a clear sign that you are around the wrong person. Number 8, kind people start off offensively. It's kind of the same topic. Okay, but when they feel threatened, Okay, they go into self-preservation. That's how you know you shouldn't be around that person. I kind of just said the same thing twice. Okay, but it's very important that you understand that somebody who was meant to be in your life would respect your boundaries, or they would have um the capacity to at least ask you if things are okay, and if it's okay if they did certain things. Like, for instance, uh I was raised that when I go into a neighbor's, a stranger's house, we don't go past the steps. Like, in a situation that they had a 2-story house, you don't go into people's refrigerators. You don't go upstairs in their house. You don't go in their bedrooms. You don't touch things. You typically stay in the living room area, or you any place of the house that you end up in. You were invited. This is just something way I was raised, right? And hopefully, a lot of people were raised the same way. But someone who feels free to walk in your house and go up the stairs and go in your room and look around and open your closet, go in your refrigerator, grab a drink without asking you anything, is clearly a person who hasn't been raised to have that understanding and respect for other people's boundaries. Clearly. And see, this is what I mean in this point right here. When you start off in offensive mode, when you invite them into your life, and I'm going to say house as a metaphor for your life, your world, you invite them into your home, and then you have to immediately start setting boundaries because what? Oh, no, I don't like nobody to go upstairs. Oh, no, no. Well, you're like, you just went in my refrigerator and grabbed my leftovers and just started drinking my orange juice and then put his mouth on the bottle. You see what I'm saying? This is a clear sign that this is somebody that is not supposed to be in your house, your life. Okay, you're gonna sit there and have to create boundaries in every room that they could possibly go into. They're touching stuff, things get broken or come up missing, and you're like, I know who did that. Mm-hmm. The person who I can't even. I had to consistently. You start feeling like, dang, if I didn't say that, then they're gonna do that. It's like if I didn't tell them, hey, make sure you don't touch this computer, then they will feel welcome to touching it because you didn't say, don't touch it. Number 9, they're determined to have their way in your life. Okay. Meanwhile, not respecting your wishes. Again, this is still the same thing I'm talking about, but you have to understand the mindset of these people. They are determined to have their way in your world, even if it's subtle. There's a reason why you attracted this person. You are nice. You are genuine. There's things about you that they need something from you, and they feel like you are the perfect candidate to come get those things from, whatever they may be. And they are determined. They are opportunists. They are determined to have their way in your world, in your life, with you. This is why you constantly have to repeat yourself, and you're repeating yourself because they're not giving up. They're not stopping. If they were the type of person that respect other people's wishes and boundaries, you wouldn't have to repeat yourself, right? Unless they were deaf. If they were deaf, then they can't hear you. As that's why you would have to continuously repeat yourself. But people with comprehension skills, they retain information. They understand where you're coming from when you say, no, I don't like that. Please don't do that again. And then they refrain. The fact that you have to constantly repeat yourself showed you that there is a selfish ambition about this person, and they are determined to have their way in your life. Number 10, you know you did the right thing. You know you knew who you was dealing with and that cutting them off was the right thing when you don't even feel bad about it. When you start to feel vindicated. When you can laugh about it on the phone with your friends later on, you say, man, thank God I got rid of that one. That validation, that feeling of vindication, and you just feeling like, wow, man, I dodged a bullet. That's how you know you did the right thing, because you being a good guy to begin with, your conscience wouldn't allow you to do things that, cross other people's boundaries or don't respect their wishes. So if you did that for whatever reason, you slipped up, you made a mistake because you're human, you'd feel bad when you let that person go. Earlier on, I think it was number 2 where I said you, or 3, where I said it's 3 when I said it's so subtle that you start to overthink and overthink and feel like you're overreacting. Okay, so at the end, number 10 is that you know you did the right thing by letting that person go and cutting that person off when you feel vindicated, when you feel like relieved, when you resort back to your neutral place of being relaxed, when you are around friends and family and people that you know or just met, whatever, and you don't have to keep continuously reinforcing boundaries. When I go to my friend's house, I ask them if it's okay if I go in the refrigerator and grab, even if it's something I got in there. Can I grab my drink out of your refrigerator? Can I use the restroom? Of course, they say, man, you ain't got to ask me, just do it. It's something that I'm going to do because the way I was trained and the way I was raised. And then they're going to know, my boy, he can leave his wallet on the table, his iPhone, his iPad, his valuable items around me, and nothing gets touched. I'm a man of integrity, and I was raised with respect for other people's property and boundaries. So when you walk away from somebody who is tempting you and pushing up against your boundaries, and you feel that feeling of relief that they're gone and you no longer have to deal with that headache, that's how you know who you were dealing with and that you don't need to doubt yourself any further. And you retain that information and you take it moving forward to the next person. I hope this video has helped you in any way, and if it has, please give me a like, comment, or subscribe. If you're new to my channel, my name is Jerome, and this has been yet another episode of The Superb Word. Until next time, 2 fingers, y'all. All right.